Not sure if you could hear my colleague Chetan bring in that exclusive bit of news in terms of what the ministry is really demanding at this stage. But really your outlook when it comes to some of the players in steel and also, of course, as to the demands when it comes to run up to budget, as well as the consumer cycle there. How are you looking at the companies? Any pecking order you feel is important to note?
No, so to a large bit, I think whatever demands have been raised by respective ministries, I think it's only the budget that will define whether these rate cuts are viable in terms of the finance ministry's point of view. But coming in terms of how the domestic and the international stacking is, specifically for ferrous as well as non-ferrous metals in general, my own sense is that with the clampdown that you've probably seen in the Chinese environment and with stringent effluent norms still getting played out and with new capacities actually coming out, with larger labor cost and with higher compliance costs, the competitiveness of Indian manufacturers has probably increased. Second, the inventory levels at LME have probably come down, which has probably pushed up prices, whether it's steel, whether it's aluminium, whether it's coking coal, whether it's iron ore. And all these prices have moved up quite significantly. So there is no change that one is seeing drastically over the next 2 quarters, to say the least, that will probably dictate prices going down significantly. And third, I think in terms of our domestic push through as well, I think the steel ministry is trying to, in fact, quantify the production that can actually go up over the next 10 to 12 years. So by 2030, I think it's a huge vision that the minister has. But going by the current dynamics, I think, and the kind of value-added products that steel companies are throwing out, yes, I think the demand outlook probably still looks very, very strong and stable, which means that the realization growth should be reasonable. The input cost increases that we've probably seen affecting the EBITDA per ton should start getting passed through as demand catches up. And this volume story will obviously create leverage on balance sheets. So yes, I did manage to listen to your colleague. I think most of the companies that he mentioned look attractively placed if such a scenario happens. But Vedanta, Hindalco, to a certain extent Tata Steel is something that I'll still continue to like.
All right, Mayuresh, thanks a lot. Always such a pleasure to have you on air with us. Mayuresh Joshi, Fund Manager, Angel Broking, joining us right here with his perspective on lunch money. Still ahead, we are connecting with Sushil Suri. He's the Chairman and Managing Director at Morepen Labs as the counter gets US FDA clearance for a bulk drug. Do stay where you are for that conversation that's coming up for you in just a few moments. You are still watching Lunch Money. Let's put the spotlight on Morepen Laboratories. We're seeing that stock hit a 52-week high on the back of getting US FDA clearance on a bulk drug. It's called Montelukast Sodium. Now, we're going to be connecting in a little while we're connecting a little while just to give us a greater picture on the phone line. I understand is joining us Sushil Suri. He's the chairman and MD at Morepen Laboratories. Mr. Suri, thank you very much for joining us right here. Congratulations, since you have gotten that clearance for Montelukast Sodium. When do you see the launch actually happening?
Montelukast is a ready product to go, so it is already, the patent has expired in 2012 and 2014 respectively. So we'll be starting the shipments in Q2 of the next year, 2018-19. And plant is already inspected, so it's a hot cake.
All right, all right. How much do you really see the revenue contribution coming from it?
We expect around 500 crores in 3 to 5 years' time. Because it's a large market, so it's a $2 billion market worldwide, and US market is around $200 million market. So $200 million market, so I assume even if we get 10% shares, that's safe enough. That's 20 million per month, per annum.
Okay.
That's good enough. So already it's an established market. We are the largest manufacturer of Montelukast worldwide. So from FDA perspective, it is our third FDA approval in the kitty. So we had loratadine back in 2000, and we had desloratadine. So this is a pride moment for the company that after 6 years we got this approval after a long gap. We already have few patents in US, Canada, and Europe on this product, but approval was long awaited.
All right, the approval was long awaited. Now, could you also give us an idea as to when any exclusivity period ends here?
No, and the patent is already expired, so there's no question of exclusivity. That's why I'm saying it's a hot cake. Normally, when we get US FDA approval, there's a long wait, exclusivity, and then patent expiries, and then there are multiple patents happening here and there. So here, it's market is already up and product is already going. We have already very good quality, and our process patents are holding good. So 35 countries we are already exporting, but you always know that US charm is different, so we get better pricing and better presentation in the US market.
Sure. Can you give us a sense as to how domestic sales sort of worked out last quarter, and also how you're looking at growth going forward?
On the domestic front, Montelukast, of course, is doing very good, and then we have a product, rosuvastatin, which is doing very good. But other than the API market, which remains our main forte, we are very strong on the OTC and diagnostic sector. On the diagnostic sector, we are growing 30 to 35% per annum, and our BP monitors, glucose monitors are doing very good. We are the number one private label and self-manufacturing in the glucose monitors in the country. We have started manufacturing of glucose monitors in India. In BP monitors also, we are second or third in the country after the multinationals. So diagnostics is doing very good. On OTC, Dr. Morepen as a brand, Bernol Lemonade is doing very good. So I would say there's a lot of excitement on the domestic front. And overall, as a company-wide, we would still continue to grow 20 to 25% year-to-year basis. And we'll be getting debt-free in the first quarter. Yeah, please.
Debt-free in the first quarter. The recent tie-up that you've had with the sale Pharma, tell us a little bit more in terms of how that's really panned out. Well, any recent developments you'd like to talk about?
I couldn't get the question.
I understand you've had a recent tie-up with Visale Pharma. I may be mispronouncing it, or Visal Pharma, or whatever. How is that panning out?
Pharma is basically a very strong JV in regard to the probiotic market. So probiotic had been a very, non-trapped market for India, even though the market size is very big. But there were no serious players, and whatever products are available, those are very low, strength. I won't say quality, but low-strength products. So, but Visal Pharma has a specialized technology wherein they have encapsulated the bacteria in a certain way so that they do not dissolve in the stomach, and they get dissolved only in the intestine where these are required, because stomach has got very acidic medium. So they are able to deliver the products in a very much better position, and once that product comes to India, that will be a game changer for the probiotics in the market in India. And just to bring you to speed, they delivered something like 7 billion bacteria in one capsule. So that's when somebody takes one capsule a day, so that's good enough for the kids, that's good enough for the adults. Then they have specialized products for senior citizens, specialized products for kids, then there are chewable products, a lot of variety of the probiotic which Indian market badly needs. They have powders also which we can use and mix with the yogurt, we can mix it with any food products, we can use it in khichdi, whatever way we want. So that's going to be a big market. So the probiotic market in India is around 1,000 crore. So we get penetration into that. So it may be a bit slow in the beginning, but long term, it's a very good product for us, the Visal Pharma.
Absolutely, and it sounds like something everyone could really benefit from. Sushil Suri, CMD, Morepen Laboratories, thank you so much for having taken us through the recent developments at the company, as well as how you're looking at growth going forward. Thank you for making time for us right here on this show. Still ahead, we're getting you another conversation. This is with Jörg Mormitz. He is the chairman and MD at MAN Trucks, so MAN Trucks India as a company eyes higher market share in this country. We're going to talk to him and tell you much more about what's happening with them in just a few moments.